Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about changing your perspective on whatever is going on around you. So your circumstances at the moment, the circumstances that you can see that don't seem to coincide with what you are manifesting. Why is that? Well, what's going on with that? I'll tell you what happens and something that you can do in order to improve that. What happens is something happens and it's not what we expect. It's out of the realms of what we are trying to create, what we are attempting to create. And we latch onto that as a problem. We decide that it's a problem. So as soon as we decide it's a problem, it becomes more of a problem. So what we do is we start focusing on it, what's going on now. We get frustrated because it's not changing and it's not how we expect things to be. It seems to be in complete contradiction with what we're manifesting. So we focus on the fact that it's contradiction. We focus on the fact that it's the opposite of what we want. We focus on that vibration, and that vibration grows and grows and grows within us. So what happens is it becomes a problem. We've made it a problem. A situation, okay, is not a problem. A situation is what something is now. What is a problem is our thoughts around that situation, how we engage with that situation. That's what causes us a problem. It's not so much to do with the situation. A situation is what it is. It's here, now. Again, I talk about acceptance, so it's accepting it. And so how do you change your perspective on that when, of course, it looks like a problem? So you're going to feel it's a problem. You're going to vibrate it's a problem. You're going to send the frequency out that it's a problem. How can you possibly look at that in a different way? For a start, we can look at anything in a different way. We can change a perspective on anything. And I have to do that quite a lot sometimes. If my reactive feeling to something can't be helped, and I will have a perspective on it, and then I will think, does that serve me? Does this serve me? Because that's my favourite phrase to myself. No, it doesn't serve me. How can I look at this a different way? Because it is purely my perception of something that makes it unfold in that way, even more so in that way. If I can change that perception, one, it makes me feel better. And two, it changes the situation. It changes things for the better. First of all, things often seem to go off track. Mostly with my manifestations, things have seemed to go off track at some point, and I used to then focus on the fact that it's gone off track, it's not going right, this is not what I'm manifesting, and I would focus on that, it not being what I'm manifesting, this is not what I'm doing. This is when I didn't used to have success, or much success, just bits of success here and there, when I managed to sort of detach from that. And so you focus on it and you cause the vibration around it not being what you want and it all going wrong and all of that, and then it does. It doesn't. It just starts going more and more off track. You see it go more and more. It derails more further and further. Does that make sense? It derails further. You either just derail once, don't you? But it seems to derail, and it seems to derail your manifestation. But it's you that's doing it. It's not the situation. It's you that's doing it with your thoughts. So, as I've said before, if you can see everything as a bridge of incidents, it's on your way to your desire, but it's not what you expect. And you could say, this is weird, this is really not what I'm expecting, but it's got to be what's meant to happen. So you don't focus on it at all. So you don't focus on it and give it positive momentum because it's not what you want to see at the moment. It's not what you were expecting on your way to your manifestation, but you just don't engage with it. You say, okay, well, it must be a success. Because I'm going to get what I want, I'm going to get my desire. So you sort of change the way that you feel about it, even though you're going to have a reactive feeling about it, which is probably going to be a bit gutted that things aren't going right. You just don't engage with that. You have that reactive feeling and then you say, does this serve me? No, it doesn't. How can I look at this a different way? Either I can spin it and just look at it a whole different way, or I can just say it's all part of the process. Okay, it's not what I was expecting, but I'm not in charge of reality. I can't tell reality what to do in order to bring this to me. That's not how this works. So this is obviously part of my process. Yes, it's going to be difficult at first and you're going to think, oh, I can't get my head around that, but just keep at it. Keep doing it, because then you will just change your mindset over time and you will look at things differently. You will be able to do that. Like me, I can do that all the time now. I still get that reactive feeling to something where I think, oh, and then I think, no, does this serve me? Again, my favourite phrase. That phrase is so useful because it kicks you into, no, it doesn't serve me, and then it sort of makes you change your perspective. So even though you can do it anyway without a phrase, you tend not to. You tend to just engage with those negative thoughts, and it stops you in your tracks. you have to know that if you start engaging with it being a problem, it's an issue, it's a circumstance I don't want, it's all going wrong, you're just going to see more of it. You're going to see more and more evidence of that because you're vibrating it, you're sending that frequency out there, it's what you're going to get back. So you just need to cut that out. As difficult as it might be, you need to stop yourself from doing that. There are several things that you can do, but I don't want to mix this video up with loads and loads of different things. You can use a switch word, which I've talked about before, which is a word that's comforting to you. Any word, it could be anything, absolutely anything, or a phrase, whatever works for you. And when you feel those feelings kicking in, you say that phrase or you say that word, and it's a bit like the does this serve me? It's the same sort of thing, really. It just kicks you out of that feeling and makes you change that feeling. You have to. If you keep focusing on that and you make that a thing and you feel knotted up and you feel it like a block, it will be, and it will carry on like that. So you literally have to apply self-discipline, which is really hard sometimes, isn't it? And change those feelings or stop them. Don't engage with them. It's quite difficult to change them sometimes when you first start this. If you've been doing this for a while, it's easier, but if you haven't and you're new to all of this, it can be quite difficult. So best just to not engage with it to start with until you get better at it, because you do know that if you keep thinking about this and telling yourself it's a problem, it is going to be a problem, but it's only you that's causing the problem, making it bigger. You're growing it, you're watering it, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, becoming more and more of a problem. Okay, it's happened, it's a situation that you don't like, but it's how you deal with it. It's how you feel about it, how you think about it, that either makes it grow into a bigger problem or it makes it shrink into a smaller problem until it dissolves and it's gone and it's not an issue. Really, honestly, I promise you, really, it is all about your thoughts and your feelings around it. It's not about the actual situation. So you don't have to go as far as keep flipping your vibration. You can do that, but I mean, I can do that, but then I've been doing this for a really long time. But if you struggle with that and feel like you're lying to yourself and you're feeling all of that resistance with it, then don't even worry about that. Just don't engage. Just know that if you do engage with that and you engage with that situation and that circumstance, because it's only a circumstance to you, really it's just an event. Think of it as just an event on the way to you getting your desire. As Florence Scovel-Shinn would say, it's a success. And I know that's difficult to get your head around, but honestly, all you really need to do is get a shift in your feelings, and anything that helps you do that is all for the good, and it is a practice. So I'm just going to give you an example of something that happened to a friend of mine. So he is a writer and an author, but he's also a web specialist, and that is his main job. And he designs websites, but he doesn't want to do that anymore. He didn't want to do that anymore. He wanted to go more delve deeper into writing and talking. Like, he's a really good talker. And so he just sort of thought to himself, he wasn't trying to manifest, he just said, I just don't want web work anymore, just don't want it. What happened? I'm not kidding you. Everything just dried up. He didn't get any inquiries. He couldn't sort of quote for something and get the job. He was getting nothing, and he had absolutely no work coming in. And he was a bit beside himself for a bit, like, oh my God, where's all the work gone? It's dried up, because he needed that to keep him going. Now, the thing is, as he had that thought, he didn't want web work anymore. He didn't get web work anymore, but it wasn't replaced with anything else because he hadn't got to that point yet. So things like that, there's two ways that this happened. We can make things like that happen by having a thought like that and not being particularly specific. So just having that thought that we don't want this or we don't want that. And we don't necessarily want it to go right in that moment because we want to swap it with something. We want to get something else in place, but we haven't had that thought. We haven't said that. What we've just said, I don't want that anymore. So he ended up not having that. So then he had to get his head around that and think, where am I going to go from here? And other things are happening for him now, so that's all cool. But at the time, he was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent, The universe, reality, doesn't see all of the other facts around it, just sees the fact that, he felt, I don't want web work anymore. So he didn't have any web work. So then he had to step back and think, what am I going to do about this? So that's one situation where we manifest something undesired, but it's kind of not, it's desired, but not desired in that way. So that is one thing to watch, actually, when you are manifesting or deciding that you want something. How am I phrasing this? How am I feeling this? What could happen if I just make this statement and feel this? What else could happen? And think, okay, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. So you say in the best possible way so that it's replaced with something, or so I've got this instead, or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. But that's a bit of a different situation than, say, if you're manifesting a specific person, you want your ex back and your ex suddenly starts dating somebody else, and you felt like you're getting somewhere, and all of a sudden they're dating someone else, that is going to be a huge setback, isn't it? In your mind, you're going to think, oh my God, the opposite is happening. The absolute opposite is happening than what I manifested, and I've been feeling good, and I haven't been feeling attached, so what the hell? Well, you have to change your perspective. One, you have to not engage with, oh my God, they're seeing someone else, they're going to fall for them, that they're going to be the love of their life and they're not going to want me back. You don't want to go down that route. First of all, you stop doing that if that's the route you're going down. Secondly, you say, okay, they're dating someone else. This must be part of the process. So they're going to date someone else, and they're going to realise that they're nowhere near the person that I am. They're nothing like me. They're going to compare us and realise that I'm better. So when we do get back together, they're going to have had that experience with somebody else and know that they'd rather be with me. There's always a new perspective, absolutely always a new perspective. And that's what you have to do in order to shift your energy so that it's not just focused on the negative in that situation and making that grow and grow and grow. Because if you do that, and you focus on that and you say they're dating someone else, oh, what if they think they're prettier than me? What if they're smarter than me? What if they're more fun than me? And all of that stuff, then they will inevitably be all of those things to that person. So to sum it up, a situation, I'd rather call it a situation than a circumstance, because circumstance sounds much harsher, doesn't it? A situation is purely, it's just 3D at the moment. It does not have to be permanent. It is temporary. Everything is temporary, isn't it? And it's your reaction to it, and then it's your handling of it in your mind with your thoughts and your feelings. These are the cards I have to work with. This is what I've got. It's all about how I handle it now. So if I don't engage with the negative side of this, what I perceive to be a negative situation, and if I don't make a mountain out of a molehill, this is just part of my manifestation process, and see it like that. What that does is just shift your energy, and then that situation will just dissolve away, or it will lead on to a situation that brings you closer to your desire. So it is all in your handling of it. You won't be able to help your reaction to it, because even me, after all of this time, I have a reaction to things because it's natural. You can't help that. You will have a reaction, and it will probably be a negative reaction because it's not what you're expecting. But then as soon as you do that, you settle yourself down and you think, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Do these feelings, are they going to serve me? No. How can I change the perspective on it? And if you really feel that you can't shift that perspective to make it into a positive, then just don't engage with it and think, okay, I'm not going to engage with it. I'm not going to water it. I'm not going to give it any more power. And I'm just going to see it as part of the process and just see what happens. Then what will happen is you'll get back into the flow, and like I said, it will either dissolve away, and it won't be an issue. It will either be, you'll say, oh, that was meant to happen. When you do get to your desire, you think, oh gosh, that was meant to happen. If that didn't happen, then this wouldn't be happening now. Or you just see it as a slight bend in the road. It can be nothing, it can have no power to disrupt your manifestation, or it can have all of the power to disrupt your manifestation. But all of that comes from you. It's not coming from the universe. It's not coming from any other power than you. So it's how you deal with it. It's not what it is. It's not anything that, it does not have power to stop you from manifesting unless you give it that power. Right, there you go, all done. I hope that was useful, I really do. I want to put out content, which is probably why I'm only doing one a week now, because the content I put out, I want it to be really useful to you and insightful, and from my experience completely, rather than a technique to do this or a technique to do that, something that allows you to move forward with this as a kind of a life skill. And this is a life skill for sure. Anyway, if you don't know anything about me, I'm a writer, I'm an author. I offer email coaching support through a members area on my website, which is £5 a month. With that, you get unlimited email support. It's not like if you email me, you get a response back 5 minutes later, although sometimes you do. If I'm online and it comes in, I will answer you. If I'm there and a message comes in and I've sort of got to the top of my list, I'll answer you then and there. Generally, it's between 24 and 48 hours when you will get a response, and I will help you with absolutely anything, and that is completely unlimited. That is why I started the members area. Predominantly, it's an email coaching tool in order that I could give coaching support, email support to lots and lots of people and make some money, and you wouldn't be paying lots of money for the service, for it. So there's that. There's a ton of modules in the members area, inside the members area, about 165 I think now. And there is a members hub where you can ask members questions if you're stuck with anything or you want some help or some encouragement. And I will develop it further in the future, but at the moment it's that's what it is. That's what you get for your £5 a month, and you can cancel whenever you want. You're not contracted in or anything once you start. I offer Zoom coaching, which you just need to go to my coaching page and just contact me from there. And I offer personalised subliminals, and from next week there will be a shop on the site where you'll be able to purchase the subliminals, and also some more generic ones, but they'll be based around self-awareness, self-concept, letting go, acceptance, all of that stuff, and probably a generic specific person manifestation, and you will be able just to order them from the website. Okay, I think that is it. And also my son has a Law of Attraction channel, Harrison Ellis, that's listed down below. Most of his stuff is specific person, although he is branching out a little bit now. And yeah, thanks for watching.